Welcome back to another video. Today I am doing this really pretty kind of neutral pinky French manicure, sort of inspired by the soap nails trend that's going around right now, but also I've been really wanting to try this base gel that I haven't used before, and it's definitely one of my new favorites. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kara. I'm a licensed nail tech and educator, and I just make a lot of nail content. I love trying new products and new techniques and sharing them all with you. So be sure to subscribe if you like these kind of videos. I'm doing my normal fill process, which I actually talked all about in my last video, so make sure to check that out if you're curious about the process I'm doing and why I do it. I also shared all of the products that I use for the process and why I use them specifically, so if you want to learn all about this, make sure to check out that video for way more info. Once I filed down about 90% of my previous manicure and I'm leaving like a thin layer of base, I use the hand file to kind of smooth out any ridges or unevenness from the e-file. And also I'm taking down length, but because my nails were longer, sometimes the new tip or top of your nail can be thick because of the previous base that was left on. So I'm thinning it out and taking off length at the same time. And again, just making sure that I'm leaving a very thin layer of my previous base gel. And I want to address the elephant in the room here. I have a little bit of onycholysis going on my nails right now, on my pinky and my pointer finger. This happens when your nail bed starts to kind of detach from your skin, so it's definitely a little bit worse on my pinky. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video because that would take too long, but it's definitely getting better already. And if you're interested in learning more about what I did, maybe I can make like a blog post or a short form video, so let me know. So for this manicure, I knew I needed to have super precise, clean cuticles in order to really get that like clean, barely there look of the polish. So I started with my only clean bit, which is a kind of like hexagonal shape that does a really great job at gently exfoliating the cuticle off of your nail beds while also lifting up the skin around the cuticle area and kind of creating like a longer nail bed. Then I use that taper diamond bit, which does such a good job at cleaning out the sidewalls of your nails because I wanted to make sure I didn't have any hangnails or anything hanging onto my nails so that I could just have the most clean polish application. So like I said, those bits do such a good job at lifting up the skin around my nails, and so I just clipped off what was dead and ready to go. If you want to learn exactly how to do this process, please check out my e-file basics course or my advanced gel manicure course, which goes over how to safely use the e-file for this type of cuticle work. I'll link all of my nail classes down below. They are super in-depth, long-form video tutorials that go over basically every single detail of all of the products that I like to use, all the tools that I like to use, and explain exactly how to use them. So if you like what you see in these videos, you will definitely love those as well, especially if you're curious about how to use some of the products or why I'm doing something in the process. I go over literally every single detail. So instead of using a dehydrator or a primer product, I just cleanse my nails really well with 90% isopropyl alcohol. That gets rid of any dust and debris left over from prepping my nails, but it also will cleanse them of oils and make sure that they're dehydrated. And then the first product I'm using is Mega Stick Base by Kokoist. This is a soft base gel that's really adhesive. And I love using this with every single manicure that I do because it just helps ensure that whatever I put on top of my nails does not lift off. I'm painting on a very thin coat on all of my nails and then curing that fully before moving on to my builder. Today I'm using Nail Thoughts Rose Water Base, which is a 3-in-1, so it's a base gel, a builder gel, and a color. So you technically don't need to use Kokoist Mega Stick Base underneath it, but they work together so well. But if you have any lifting, I recommend Mega Stick Base because it will just do such a good job at making sure everything stays adhered. Since this is a builder, I'm going to use it to build out a nice structure on my nails. So I start by doing a slip layer and leaving it wet. And with the slip layer, I made sure to get really close to my sidewalls and the cuticle area. And this is where the nail prep comes in handy because my nail beds are so clean. There's no cuticle, there's no hangnails, and it makes it a lot easier to get that polish super close to your skin without touching it. To build the structure of my nails, I'm basically just grabbing a bigger bead of polish and placing it near the cuticle area and kind of floating it down my nail. And then I'm using my detailer brush by Nail Thoughts to refine the shape and also kind of bring it closer to the sidewalls and cuticle area. I call this like tucking in your polish because you're basically tucking it super close to your skin. You know how sometimes you do your nails and leave a little gap around your skin and it can almost look a little bit grown out, like you're on day 2 or 3 of your manicure even though you just did it. So this method of painting will help your nails look fresher for longer because the polish is so close to your skin. But you need to make sure that you don't get the polish on your skin at all. So if you do, use an orange wood stick with some alcohol on it to clean it up immediately. And I also flip my nail over to kind of help prevent flooding and build the structure too. And I also only work one nail at a time because this helps prevent flooding and pooling. And once you like how your nails look, go ahead and give them a cure. Even though I'm using builder gel, my nails are not bulky. I'm trying to keep them thin near the tips and kind of make sure that they look as natural as possible as they grow out. So here's what they look like from the side. I just think that's helpful to see and keep in mind that the ultimate goal of using builder gel is to support your nails as they grow and give them strength, but not to make them look bulky. If you are using builder gel and your structure is unbalanced and too bulky, that can lead to lifting. So just make sure to keep that in mind when you're applying these products. So once I finished applying the builder gel on all of my nails, I'm ready to move on to my French tip. I wanted to do a light pink French tip because I thought it would look so pretty with the color of the builder gel. So this is Pink Sand by Nail Thoughts. And instead of using a liner brush, I'm actually using an angled brush. This is my new favorite way to do a French tip because the brush really helps you. So you want to make sure that you put the tip of the brush towards the edge of your free edge and then kind of work it towards the center of your nail. You can essentially use the brush to like stamp out the shape of the French tip. It just is like so easy. I just love it. And then when you move to the other side of your nail, you want to flip the brush over. So you can see here, I'm literally rotating the brush so that it's on the other side and then placing it towards the edge of my free edge. And then again, just working the color into the center of my nail. This polish is a little bit thinner. So because I'm using the brush, that does create like a couple of sparse areas. So I'm just going over it again with a little bit extra polish to make sure that it's all filled in, but also being mindful that I'm not creating a bulky French tip. I want to keep this as thin as possible so that it looks really natural and blends seamlessly into my builder gel. Once I'm done with all the French tips, it's time for top coat, and I'm using my favorite one, the Kokoist Ultra Glossy Non-Wipe Top Coat. I like to wipe most of the polish off of my brush before I paint any on my nails because I want to make sure I'm not using too much. I definitely don't want to flood my nails here. I'm just doing a thin, even coat. And I'm taking this one step further by grabbing my liner brush and doing the same kind of thing that I did with the builder gel by dragging it all the way out to the edge of my nails as close to my skin as possible. Since I did that with the builder gel, I also want to do it with the top coat because I want to make sure that every single square inch of the builder gel is covered with the top coat too. And because I'm doing that, I also recommend working one nail at a time. So after you're done applying your top coat like that and bringing it out to the edge, just make sure to cure it and freeze it in place because otherwise it might shrink away or pool or flood, and we definitely do not want that to happen. And now I'm doing my two favorite finishing touches. The first one is doing a finish file. This will just kind of crisp up the shape of my nails and also just help prevent lifting from the builder gel. And the last one is applying my favorite cuticle oil. This is from Kokoist. It's just like so thick and rich and it smells so good. And then I'm using this big diamond ball bit with my e-file and exfoliating off any of the dead skin. You can literally see the dead skin coming off of my nails right here. It's so satisfying. And this is also an amazing process that helps prevent any hangnails from coming back because you're basically polishing your skin and making it super smooth. So there's no like jagged or leftover skin kind of hanging up from all that cuticle work that we did earlier. And that's pretty much it for this manicure. I think I achieved the goals of doing super precise cuticle work and a really clean polish application, just like soap nails kind of entail. And I really love how these look. I just think they are gorgeous and so subtle, like barely there, but also just like so clean and elegant. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you have any questions and be sure to subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another one. Bye.